everything good on there? Okay. So let me close some things. Tell you what, guys, I am so glad it's Friday and I don't even have to think about work. It's been a week and I didn't even know if I was going to get everything done in time, but with the lack of sleep that I had, on Wednesday night, I got it all done. Let's see. I think I have everything. Just bear with me. Let me move this because I don't need it. Goodness, goodness, goodness. All right, let's see. I saw that Vaughn was on here nice and early, and Froggy. They were having a good conversation going on. And there's Terry. Let me kind of go to the beginning. And thank you, Froggy. I saw your comment about the hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Hopefully this thing isn't gonna start like coming down on me because I don't know what's up with this phone stand, but it's I set it up and then all of a sudden it was down like here. Yep, you both were. Yeah, and then you were going on about who liked the video first. Let's see. So yeah, Yvonne's at home. She not here. Actually, let me do something. Well, yeah, let me do something while I am right here. Should be able to do this without no issues. Since, Yvonne's not going to be here. And before I forget, I'm just going to go and set my alarm. I got all the blinds and everything closed up, so we'll just set this now and be done. Okay. And let's see. Is Becky on here yet? Let's see, Yvonne and Froggy. Oh, that's awesome, Froggy. That's awesome. I just saw your comment about that you have some Christmas cards in your stash. With some, I'm gonna have to take a really good look at what we have now and see if I can do maybe another updated what is it, one sheet wonder video. That's what that was. That's the video that just, yeah, it made things happen. Okay, a birthday. Is that what you have for dinner, Yvonne? Chipotle? Yvonne, you're always going to be organizing your craft room. You're always going to be. Okay. And if anyone needs to organize anything, it's in here. It's starting to take over. I said hi to Terry and Carol, and Sharon. Yeah, you gotta love the internet. Okay, and who else do we got here? Terry and Yvonne, and so I don't see Becky here yet, but she should have gotten the package, and I'm burning up now. So much for taking a shower. Now I gotta start sweating. Yeah, it was a crazy work week, and yeah, doing something that I really didn't want to do and had to get it done. And Yeah, lack of sleep because I had to get this stuff done by Wednesday. And then last night I finished writing everything up. Hello, Tracy. And yeah, so the cards for that we made for Becky, I sent that out Tuesday, and I think that they were what do you call it? Supposed to be delivered today. So we got them done early since Yvonne isn't here this weekend, so she got those cards done last weekend. I got mine done too, so she was here when I got the first card done, the first set of cards done, and then yeah, then I worked on the second set, and I used new product. Like I said, the fall stuff, I love the fall stuff, and actually that fall stuff is going to be next Friday and the Friday after that. So we got some sweet stuff coming up. Yeah, it's only two more. Only two more. Only two more Fridays after tonight. Yep. So gathering together, and then the autumn twirl one, and yeah. And then I look at this, and Tuesday the 23rd will be 2 years that I started doing videos on this channel. 2. But yeah, so next Thursday I'm going to be using that rustic crate bundle. Haven't used it yet. Was a late comer on getting it, so I'm going to use that for my throwback Thursday next week. And I think this weekend, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on what I need to do for next Thursday and then next Friday. Plus, I think they say that they ship it, but Stampin' Up said that they ship the paper pumpkin kit. So yeah, so probably sometime next week I'll be doing a video for that too. So just trying to get ahead of the game. I have that in-person class that I planned back in June. Um, I planned that if you're here in person, I planned that for Saturday the 27th at 11:30. So other than, I think Yvonne's the only local person on here. Yeah, I haven't gotten any emails from anybody based off of my, what do you call it, my newsletter. Words are hard. So we'll see what happens, if whether or not there's actually going to be an in-person class for that, or if we're just going to be making some projects. So let me kind of move things out of the way. So as far as, let me see, as far as any announcements, there's really not much to talk about. I did see something on the demonstrator. Is it demonstrator? Hey, Deborah. The demonstrator planning place, I think. I know that I saw it somewhere on Facebook. That, through a demonstrator only page, that there's going to be a joining special at some point in October. So I think there was something else that they were going to announce too, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Hello, Cynthia. And I guess we'll find out as we get closer to the end of this month, I think is when they were going to announce it. So that registration, it's still open for World Card Making Day. That event, that virtual event that Stampin' Up is going to do, using what is it, that handmade and heartfelt kit that's currently now in the online store under the kids collection. I have not gotten that yet. I know I was going to do an in-person, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off because it's the first Saturday of October. It also happens to be um, also the day that I have to clean the church. So I think what I may be doing, I'm going to get, um, I'm going to have this kit, and what I may do is that night, I may do a live on making this. So I think my event for World Card Making Day is going to be right here. So I may do it, being that it's Saturday. I could end up doing it like 6 or 6:30, kind of like the same time frame when I did what do you call it, that catalog haul last month. So yeah, I think that I'm going to do that. So I'll put that on the calendar. And um, but other than that, as far as announcements go, that's it. Let's see. What else? Okay. And Deborah's doing better. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so what else? I don't think there's really anything else. I mean, that most glorious weekend we had last weekend where it actually felt like fall, yeah, didn't last. It's now still hot as anything here. Um, yeah, I think just this whole week has been just a horrible week, just in general. Not just what I've gone through, but, you know, everything that's been going on. Um, 9/11 usually is not a good day for me anyway because I can't see any of those images without getting upset. So that's kind of like, it's kind of like my home turf. So yeah, I remember that day. I was actually living in Ohio. But yeah, that and everything else, Charlie Kirk, that was horrific. And that Ukrainian woman in North Carolina, just horrible. I saw something on Facebook, was it earlier today, that was it the mayor here of Memphis was having an issue with the National Guard being sent here. Yeah, there were a lot of people that had comments about that. I say bring it. When Memphis is listed as like the homicide capital of the U.S., evidently leadership here is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I say bring it, because yeah, the crime has gotten out of hand here. I mean, you can ask Yvonne, if we do anything, we don't go out at nighttime. Mm-mm. And I mean, we rarely, when she's here, we rarely ever go out at nighttime. I don't even really go out at nighttime. I do everything during the day, but then even during the daytime, you got to be careful too. So, yeah, this is why I don't have a problem staying at home. just saying. So, I mean, I got plenty here to keep me busy. So, all right. So we are like about 14 minutes into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this. I don't really have any announcements because I already told you really about World Card Making Day. And if you didn't register for it yet, in the description of the video, I do have the link that'll take you to the section of the website where you can register. Now, you want to register. It's a free event. You have, I think, until October 3rd at some point Mountain Time to register for it. Those who register, you'll get the link to watch the event, and then you'll be able to watch the event after. Okay, Yvonne, just remember, come back. Um, and then you'll be able to watch it again. They didn't have a time frame where they said they were going to take it down, but you'll be able to watch it again. So if you got something going on that day it'll be good that, you know, yep, yep, Cynthia, that it's horrible. There's just too much going on. Too much evil, too much hatred. It just, we know when it'll stop, you know, so we can only pray. But what was I going to say? Squirrel brain. That's what I got. Um, yeah, so you do want to register. So then that way you'll be able not only to watch it when it does happen, or if you got something going on that day, then you'll be able to have the link and go back and you can watch it again. Also, they also said that there would be a free gift for everybody who registered. Now, the last time they did, I think it was a World Card Making Day. I don't know, was it last year? Because I think I may have watched it. The thing is, when I would do a live for, you know, World Card Making Day, I would kind of try and do what they were doing. However, they didn't do no stamping. They just used pre-done card bases and ephemera packs and all that. So yeah, I think I still did something anyway, but yeah, this kit looks really, really cool, so I'll most likely be doing that in the evening. But that free gift, I think it was last year that everybody who registered that had actually gotten, I think, like a $5 coupon to put towards a future order. So um, any little bit that you know, to save on stuff, I mean, is awesome. So again, it's a free event. Doesn't hurt to register, and that link that takes you to it, it's not one of those things where, you know, like a, you know, when you place an order with a demonstrator where someone's going to get credit for it. It's just a link. It just takes you to the page, and just to make it easier if it's something that you want to do. Um, we didn't get anything as far as well, we're doing the card kit. What am I talking about? Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be any scrapbooking to it. I mean, usually World Card Making Day, anything that was really paper crafting related, we would do it on that day. So it doesn't matter. But anyway, so I will let you know definitely what exactly what time I'm going to do that live event on World Card Making Day. It won't be during the daytime. It most likely will be during the evening. Let's see. All right, so let me go and flip this and we will get started. Okay. Bring this down. Hold on. It doesn't want to move. And I think we should be good. Make sure everything's straight. Let me add some Stampin' Mist to my Stampin' Scrub. Yeah, by the time I got done working today, it was 5:30, and then I still had to take a shower. So I got that in. I got everything set up. So everything just worked out the way it's supposed to. All right, so we are starting to use some of the new stuff. So even though it's not officially fall yet, I want fall. I like fall. And I really liked how the temps were last weekend. And I'm just not happy that now it's hot here again. And it's supposed to be hot throughout the week. So I really want fall to like come and, you know, stay. So I decided that for tonight I'm going to use the Beautiful Pumpkins bundle. So you have your realistic looking photopolymer stamps with the images. You have the vine, you got the stems and the leaves, and then you got these two really nice greetings in it. And then the dies will die cut, you know, those stamped images, and then you have some detail, you know, in these leaves and also the stems, which I am using them on the cards. So there's not a whole lot of dies in here, but I really, really like that vine and these leaves. So everything I have already die cut ahead of time. So on some of them, I'm actually going to stamp even though I already stamped the images and I already die cut ahead of time, I will go and stamp them so you can kind of see the process. Now, does anybody on here, do you have this bundle yet? Or is it on your wish list or not on your wish list? Um, One thing that I will, well, two things I'll mention. Um, Pinned up at the top of the chat box, if you are new here and maybe you're watching and you haven't commented, what I do at the end of my Friday night lives, I do a drawing where you can win one of, what do you call it? Go into a drawing to win one of the cards that I make tonight. Um, so that's pinned up at the top. If you have any problems at all, 4 to 6 weeks of fall, clean, and then it's Christmas in full gear after that. So if you have any issues adding your name to that spreadsheet, just say something in the chat and somebody here will be more than happy to get your name added. Also, in the description of the video, it would be that little paragraph right above the list of supplies. I do have a link that'll take you to my Google Drive. Every Friday night when all the videos that I have done, I have created PDFs. Has the list of supplies, it has pictures, it has the cardstock and the paper and the dimensions, and if something was stamped, I let you know what I stamped it in. Also, what's really nice about this is that if you like the projects and you would like to go back and recreate them, if you click on this link right here, it will take you right back to this video. So every one of the PDFs that are out there have that link that'll take it back to that particular video. And yeah, there's PDFs out there going back to January 26th of 2024. So there's lots to choose from. I got the date and then I just have the name of whether it's like bundle or whatever, I have the name of it out there. So a lot of that stuff now is retired, but there's stuff that's still current too. So yeah, be sure to check that out, and they're free. I put the work in on putting these together. It's something that that I'll follow along. Plus, not only that, it's nice to have it in a binder where hey, if there's any particular bundle or whatever that I pull out to play with, I can revisit the projects that I made. So that is out there. And of course, this is what I'm going to be following as I go. So let me bring in the stuff for my first project. So this one, we're basically using the dies, and as far as stamping goes, there's not a whole lot of stamping on this. Let's see. Let me bring in some scrap paper, and then I'm going to bring in some ink here. So I got a feeling that some of these ink pads, even though I press the ink into the pad, that even though I keep it like this, after I've done that, there's probably, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. I thought it looked a little dark. I didn't turn that other light on. Okay. Can we see things? Yeah, see, now there's the light. Okay. So even though I press the ink into the pad and then put it upside down so it stays that way, chances are, for some reason, it still gets really inky. So I may have to press that ink in. So I got Basic Beige and I have Early Espresso. And I got my embellishments I'm going to use. Okay, so the pieces that I have here, this is basic beige, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. This is 4.5 by 4.25. I have another piece of, actually it's the back side of this pattern. This piece measures 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. I have a piece of basic beige that's 3 by 1/2 inch. This is what we're going to stamp our greeting on. And then I have a piece of, this is a scrap of the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. So this was paper that we had in the holiday mini catalog last year, and it has carried over. I believe it's actually in the annual catalog. So in this paper, we have like basic beige, cherry cobbler, crumb cake, gray granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pretty Peacock, Real Red, and then there's gold. So some really pretty patterns that are in here. So it's the this basic beige piece that I used, and I die cut the large pumpkin, and then with gold foil, I die cut these vines and leaves, and also our detailed stem for our pumpkin. Okay, so I'm going to start with folding and burnishing my card base. Okay, let me get my scrap paper here. And then I want my basic beige ink. And it's weird because basic beige actually looks like it's green. Okay, so let me, I know that this is very inky. When I first got it and I went to use it, I mean, I kind of lightly scraped on it and there was like so much ink that came off on the spoon. So that's the one thing they don't skimp on when you get the new ink pads. You definitely have plenty of ink. Let's see. Okay, so we got that, and then I want this stamp here with the vine on it. Yeah, I love pumpkins. Actually, my daughter's birthday is October 23rd, so since she was so close to Halloween, and of course being in fall, yeah, I kind of always called her Pumpkin when she was little. She's not so little anymore. She's all grown up. Okay, so let me put this on here, and then I'll ink this up. And I'm going to stamp this top left and bottom right corner, like so. All right, let's move that. Put that right there. Close this up. I have a lot of different color ink pads that I have out that we're using for the projects tonight. All right. So the other thing I want my piercing mat, and I want this little greeting strip here, and early espresso ink. And I want thankful for the small things. And let's get our block. Ink it up. And this is just going to fit right on this piece. Okay, that's stamped really, really good. Now, for some reason, early espresso, I've noticed that when you stamp with it, you got to let it dry because it seems like it takes a little bit for it to dry and that ink will smear if it's still wet. All right, so we're going to let that sit for a moment. And so we have our card base. So now I'm going to take my larger piece of designer series paper. Now I want to make sure that I have this in the right direction. What I want to do on this, on the top and bottom of it, I'm going to tear. You know, first, like last weekend, I was going to work on these projects, but for some reason, see, the thing is that with this being a new set, along with a lot of the new sets that came out in the catalog, the problem is there's not a whole lot of samples of what people have done with it. So, yeah, I was trying to figure out how I'm going to do these cards, and since I wasn't able to get them done over the weekend, and now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to curl up a little bit these edges. And for some reason, yeah, that I couldn't come up with ideas. I don't know if it's just because I was tired, but yeah, the other day I started seeing stuff and I'm like, okay, I could do that. One of the cards that I'm doing is cased off of one of the card samples well, it's not a catalog. This is online exclusive. And I changed it up a little bit because there's one detail that they did that is pretty as it is. Yeah, it looks very time consuming and we would be here for a while. All right, so I kind of curled that up a little bit. I'm going to take my adhesive. Looks like I'm almost to the end of that seal. And then I'm going to place this right here, right across the middle. And then I'm going to take this piece right here and I'm going to trim that at an angle. So let me make sure that I get this right. So if it's this way, okay. Just making sure that I kind of line this up in the right direction. So the top corner of this, I don't know if you can see it because that's in the way, but this top corner, I am lining it up right to the edge of this, the edge of the die, not die cutter, the trimmer, and then I'm just going to cut it at an angle. And let's see, I'll line it up right there, and then just trim it. So that's the end result. Get rid of that. Okay, and then I'm going to take some adhesive and add this on top. Place this right about here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pumpkin and get some dimensionals. Got a few more on here. And let's see. Let's use some of our edging pieces. Okay. Yep. Got maple trees and you have oak trees. Yeah, that's the one thing I really miss about Ohio is that everything's already started changing color now, hasn't it, Deborah? That is the one thing that I kind of miss of Ohio. Is I'm missing fall. Okay, so I think I got this the right way. Yeah. Just want to make sure. So all the little rigidities. Okay. Just want to make sure. Got it right. So I'll put my pumpkin right there. And then I want, let's see. I'll take my stem. I'll put my stem on first. So I want to take a small dimensional and I want to put it on the top. And then get my glue dots. Just a few. Okay, let me get rid of some of this. All right. Glue that on there. And take that paper backing off. And we'll put our stem on there like so. And then I'm going to use my glue dots. Or I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Just looking at how I got everything placed on there. There's a lot of gold. So I want these small ones. Put it there. And then this larger one on the bottom we'll get one too. Okay, and then glue dots. Yeah, let's see, it's going that way, so a little bit closer. All right, so then this is going to go right along this. It will work if you take the paper backing off of the dimensionals. Works so much easier. I take this one off. Nope. Yeah, things aren't going to stick unless you take that paper backing off. And then on this little leaf and vine, I'm going to add one of my mini dimensionals. And place that right over here. And then for my greeting, let's see, I'm going to add, let's see, give me regular dimensionals. So I'm going to add one on this end, and then one on the other end, and then, let's see, this is the top part. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive so that way that part will stick to the pumpkin. Yeah, usually when we get rain and then you got like wind tied to it too, that's usually when, yep, now these leaves are going to start falling off, changing color and falling off the trees. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and place this right across the bottom like so. And then we got, I'll pull that up a little bit. And then for my embellishments on this card, I'm going to bring in, these are the loose gold sequins, and these are in our annual catalog. So you got a couple of different sizes in here. So let me see, where is, take your pick tool. Now what's nice with this, some of these larger ones will actually fit on a glue dot. Just making sure I got one and not more than one, because these things like to stick to each other. So we have this one, and I'm going to place this one right here. And then let's see, got another one. What's nice about these sequins, they don't have those little holes in the middle of them. And some of these glue dots are bigger than the sequin, so I just tuck it behind. And then let's see, we need another one. And then this one we'll put right up here like so. Okay, so let me get this cleaned up, because we do not want these to end up all over the place. No, no. Okay, put that in the bag. All right, move that out of the way. And there is the first card. So using the neutral colors and have that glitz or bling with the gold foil. So there's our first card. Okay. All right, so let me move some stuff out of the way here for our second card. Kind of clean these off because I'm going to need these blocks. Okay. All right, so now let me get my stamps. We'll put that back in there. And then for our next card, I want, now for these pumpkins, there's two different stamps. You have one that's more of a solid background, and then you have one that's more of a detailed, and you have two different sizes. So these are the only ones that we're going to stamp. And let me put these on blocks. And then we got these two. Now for this one, I'm also using another new item that is in the holiday mini catalog. So this one, let me show you what I'm using in this one. Where is it? This is the Earthen toned metallic paper. So this goes with the Autumn Toile suite. So I thought this would be perfect for one of the things that I'm going to do. Now, not only that, the other new product that, well, there's more than two actually, as far as products that I'm using. So this is part of the Gathering Together suite. So this is the Gathering Leaves embossing folder. I don't know if anybody here has this yet, but here's what's interesting about this. So the cards that I had made, so some of the cards that I had made for Becky, I had used this embossing folder. Now you can see it does not say on here nothing about being 3D. If you look online, it says it's just a regular folder. I look at this folder and I don't know, it just seems a little bit thick to me to be a regular one. And I can tell you now, I don't know if it was the fact that maybe the cutting plates to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine are a little bit warped. But when I tried to put this in between just the two cutting plates and the base plate, uh, it wasn't budging. It was not going through at all. And then I thought, okay, well now let me try that number 3. I think it's number 3 or no, it's number 4 plate, that gray plate that you would use for the 3D embossing folders. I used that and it went through fine, and it also embossed. It did emboss the cardstock too. So as far as this being listed as a regular embossing folder, that I don't know. I had a hard time getting this through the machine, and I wasn't going to you know, force it through because I didn't want to break it. So we're using this as well. And then I'm also using, now this is part of a bundle. This is Words for the season. So you have the script word dies. So you have, what do you have? You have Happy Wishes, Merry, Autumn, Halloween, Greetings, Christmas, holidays, and New Year. So I thought, well, let's pull these out and let's use these as well. So now when I pull the stuff out of this envelope, I gotta be careful that I don't end up losing the little dot, or tittle as they call it, to the eye in the wishes. So I see it sitting there right there, and I think I'm going to leave it there until I'm ready for it so I don't lose it. Okay, so let me kind of pull out these pieces really quick. So for my card base on this, I'm using Timid Tiger. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Now the sample card that I saw for this one, they had used white cardstock. But to me, it's fall, so I thought I wanted to use Very Vanilla. Well, unfortunately, we don't have the Very Vanilla thick anymore. I do have some sheets, but I didn't want to end up creating my card using it because, well, then it wouldn't be something that you'd be able to get unless you have it in your stash. So I thought Timid Tiger would work really well with this. So so my card base is Timid Tiger, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Then I have a piece of Very Vanilla. This measures 5.25 by 4, and ahead of time I had used that gathering leaves embossing folder, and went ahead and embossed that ahead of time. I do have another piece the same size, 5.25 by 4, and this is going to be for the inside of my card. I then have a scrap piece here. We're going to do some stamping on that. And then I die cut out of a scrap of Old Olive. I die cut this larger vine and then this smaller leaf here with the little vine on it. The larger detailed stem for the one pumpkin, and then there's one that's for the smaller one. So there's no adhesive or anything on the backs of these. I think with these I used like the glue dots and the dimensionals like I did for the first one. And then out of that earthen toned foil, I have die cut Autumn Wishes. Now the A is not connected to the rest of the word, and then the W is not connected to the rest of Wishes. So I die cut that. I did not put in the adhesive sheets on the back of this. We're going to do the glue and our silicone brush to put these down. And again, with the Wishes, the little top to the eye, that's not on there. I do have it right here in my bag, so that way when I'm ready to put it on, then I'll take it out, because that's so tiny I'll end up losing it. Alright, so I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, and then I'm going to take my piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to put this in. Now, I didn't do any stamping at all on the inside of these cards, so you can write your greeting inside of it. You can stamp another pumpkin in there if you wanted to. I didn't do it this time because I know that stamping these are going to be a little bit time consuming. Not so much for this card, but the next card, the last one, yeah, we're doing a little more stamping on that. Okay, and then this embossed piece, I'm going to place this right on top. And I want my leaves to kind of face up rather than down. Okay, and then let me bring my Stampin' Pearson mat, and then I want my scrap paper. I'll put that over on this side, and then the colors of ink that I'm going to use for this one. Let's see, where is it? I am going to use Pumpkin Pie and Timid Tiger. Now, I know this was pretty inky, so let me make sure that it's not too bad now. Actually, Timid Tiger, I'm not so concerned about, because this I'm actually going to stamp off before I stamp it down. So let me clean the back of my spoon. Okay, and then Pumpkin Pie. Okay. All right, so the easiest way to do this is stamp the more detailed stamp first. It's easier to then line up the solid piece, because the color on here is going to be lighter than the color that's on the detailed. So Pumpkin Pie, I'm going to stamp that down first. And then on the solid, I'm going to ink this up in the Timid Tiger. And I'm going to stamp off. And then I can easily line this up. Oh, move it down a little bit. Oh, I did that. No. Nope. Here I say how easy it is to line it up, and then it's all crooked. Okay. We try this again. Oh, there's something on there. Hold on. Let's try that again. All right. there we go. There is, I love the detail on that. It looks realistic with the white that makes it look like it's shining. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this smaller pumpkin. The detail is going to be in pumpkin pie. And then solid. Stamp that off. And stamp right over. Like so. So I really like how those pumpkins came out. Okay, so let me close these up. Put them off to the side. And then, like I mentioned before, I already went ahead and I die cut these. So there's my two pumpkins. Again, these are stamped on Very Vanilla. Okay, and then I'm going to hold off on putting, now, when I did my sample card, yeah, I had put the pumpkins down first, and then I put down the words, and I thought, you know what, maybe I should have put down the words first. So that's what we're going to do on here. So let me bring in my silicone craft sheet here, and we got our glue, and we got our silicone thing. Now, when you add the glue on the back of this, just as a tip, you want to hold this thing down, you know, in one place when you add the glue, because if you shift it, you're going to get the top part, the foil, into the glue, and you don't want that because it's going to look all smudgy. Let's see, I think I'm going to start with the autumn. And then I'm also going to grab my tweezers as well. Those tweezers are from that Embossing Editions toolkit. I'm going to add some glue. Don't need a whole lot. Alright. So again, I'm going to kind of hold that down. I'm going to tap my brush in there and then just tap some glue. And again, I don't want this to move, and it probably did, because I'm trying to avoid getting glue on the foil. Doesn't look like I got any on there. Okay, so then I'm going to take my autumn and I'm going to place that right here. Try and get it straight. Okay, and press that down. I really like this, the color of this foil. Right now I just have one pack. I think you get 3 sheets in a pack. So I definitely want to get some more of that. Alright, and then I'm going to take my A and let's add some glue to that. Okay, I didn't want you to move. Okay, and then I'll stick my A right there. I'll shift it over a little bit. Okay, and because this W is really big, I ended up putting the the rest of the word down first. So this time I'm going to put my W down first and then add the wishes. Okay. Okay. Turn over. Okay. there's our W. Now we got the rest of our word right here. Okay. And then wishes will go right here. Okay. Okay, and then now let me get my little itty bitty part to my eye, and for this I'm going to add just a teeny tiny drop of glue. And then let's see, where is, I take your pick tool, and then okay, flip over. Okay. And I'm going to pick this up, and then we'll put that right there. So some people don't even bother with dealing with that little itty bitty tiny thing, so they'll end up using like an embellishment instead. Okay, so now that we got that on there, now I can go and take my pumpkins and I can adhere those. So let me first move this out of the way so we don't get glue all over the place. And I want my I want my dimensionals. Oh, Terry's gonna end up disowning me. But I did give you a heads up on it when I did the haul. Can't blame me. Hey, if I didn't do it, then somebody else would have enabled you, right, Terry? Okay. So then I'm going to take my pumpkin and I'm going to place that. Let's see, we can put that like right there. I just love pumpkins. Who knows? You know, I think maybe this weekend, I think I need to make like a pumpkin pie. I used to make pumpkin pies just to have that smell throughout my either my apartment or my home, because I just love it. And pumpkin pie is good too. Down here, a lot of people are all about what is it, sweet potato pie, which that's good too. Okay, and then I'm going to add, I'm going to add this little pumpkin right there. And then let's get our stems. So I'm going to put the stems down the same way I put it. Hey, come back here. Same way I had done the other one. But this one, like for the small stem, it's so small that we're not putting a dimensional on there. So glue dot. We'll just kind of tuck what's sticking out right behind it. And we'll place that down. And then for our larger one, let's see, put one there, come on off. And then we want a small dimensional. We'll put that up on the top. I trimmed my nails, so now I don't have the longer nails to pull those off, so it's a little bit of a struggle, but It's okay, I'll make it work. So we'll place that down. And then for this smaller leaf, with the little vine on it, just going to take a glue dot and place that right there. And then we're going to take our larger one, and let's see how we're going to place this down here. So on this larger leaf, I'm going to take dimensional, and I want to put it down right down there. And then let's see, our larger leaf, we're going to put the glue dot on there. And let's see, I think the rest of the leaves we're doing glue dots. And I got the little one. I want to be careful with this because I don't want to tear that off. Okay. I took that off, no. All right, so then my vine is gonna go like so. Okay, so one more thing to add to this, get our bling. So this one, another new product, and a lot of people have already made comments about the name that they named these embellishments. They call them streaked dots, but when the streaked dots are in the color that they are, you can imagine what they say wrong name for it. But when I look at these, I'm seeing more like a brown marble effect on these. I like these. Now they're not really flat, so you may need something to cover the top of your card if you're mailing this. So I just put that out there. Pumpkin bread's good. Pumpkin ravioli. Ooh, that sounds interesting. You love pumpkins, but not the pie. You're just weird, Terry. Yeah, there's an Amish store that well, it's a little bit for me to get to. It's not too bad. Maybe about anywhere between, well, I'm going to say 45 minutes, because if you just take a side road, like a back road to get there, yeah, if you so much as go like 2 miles over the speed limit, you'll probably get pulled over and get a ticket. Ask me how I know, because it happened when I was dropping somebody off after a weekend at a church women's retreat. But I love going to that Amish store because they have like all these different butters, like apple butter, pumpkin butter. I think there was peach butter. I mean, they had a whole bunch of different things, and I love going to that store. So it's fall time comes, it's a perfect time to go out there. So yep, that's one of the things we got planned, probably maybe in October. But yep, definitely I'm looking forward to making a trip out there. Actually, you were out there, Terry, when you were here, I think the first time. You went out there and you went and visited Lily, and I think you guys did go to the store, because that's where that little plaque that's hanging up in my coffee bar area is. Okay, and then we're going to just place a couple down. So there's two different sizes of these, and I just used one large one and then two smaller ones. And now let me just put these. Yeah, Yeah, so you were lucky. You were lucky because yeah, I just turned on that road and he pulled me and he goes and pulls me over. And of course he goes, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I'm like, "No." And then, of course, in the end, when he saw my driver's license and saw the address, he said, "Well, aren't you going the wrong way?" And I'm like, "No, I was dropping somebody off. We just got done with a women's retreat. You think he'd be nice, right?" And so then, yeah, he takes my information, he comes back, and then he notates on the ticket, "Oh, polite driver." And he tells me, "See, I put down you're a polite driver." And I said, "As opposed if I was like unruly and gave you a hard time, you would have slapped the cuffs on me and threw me in the back of your truck." And he goes, "I wouldn't have done that." It's like, "Oh, yes, you would have." I mean, laughed about it, but come on, that dang ticket cost me $90. It didn't go on my record though. But yeah, oh yeah, you and the Mustang. And you oof, I'm surprised. Yeah, you were lucky. You were lucky, lady, that you did not. You know what, Cynthia? Last weekend, Yvonne and myself, we went into Sam's Club and I did buy a pumpkin roll. It was really, really good too. So there's the second card. So use some of that brown foil and some of the embellishments. And I really love how these pumpkins came out. I'm sorry, but all the pumpkins on all these cards, love, love, love. So the next card, the last card that we got, um, it's a case off of a card that if you go to the online store and you bring up this bundle, you will, this is the card you would see. Now, I did change it up just a little bit. The smaller panel, hold on, let me kind of get this out of the way. So the smaller panel here, what they did was they had die cut a whole lot of these larger vines here, and they glued it down onto the cardstock, and then they trimmed it. Now, as pretty as that is, we would have been here for a while on this card if that was the case. Let me quickly clean these because we will be using these pumpkins again. So this one has like 4 different colored pumpkins. And so for the more detailed image, there's a darker color and then there's a lighter color for the solid part. So I kind of like these colors that they have chose for this. So let me move that out of the way and let me flip my chart here and let's get started on this one. So I did some stamping and I did the die cutting ahead of time, but I'm going to go through the process with you on stamping those. So the card base is Pretty Peacock 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have another piece of Pretty Peacock. This is 5 by 3 3/4. And ahead of time, I had embossed it using the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. And then I have a piece of basic white that's 5 1/4 by 4. This will go into the inside of our card. And then I have a scrap piece of basic white that I'll do my stamping on. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold and burnish, and then I'm going to adhere that embossed Pretty Peacock panel on top and my basic white on the inside. Okay, so I'll put that in there. Okay, and then let's add some adhesive to this. And I want to be careful because when you emboss this cardstock, it breaks it down a little bit. So if you're too aggressive with that seal, you'll end up tearing the cardstock. So there's our card base. Okay, and now we're going to do some stamping. And let me bring this in. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my large pumpkin. And for my large pumpkin, I am going to use pumpkin pie and peach pie. So let's see. I'm going to do the detail. And we'll stamp that right there. Okay, and then let's see how our peach pie is. See if it's like really inky or not. Okay, I don't think it's too bad. Okay, and then I'm going to line this up like so. Okay. And we're done with that one. All right, so let me clean these. Okay, so the rest of the pumpkins that we're going to do, they're going to be these smaller ones. So I'm going to do a yellow one. So we're going to use Crushed Curry and Daffodil Delight. So let's see how inky these are. Okay. And then Daffodil Delight. She's back. I was starting to wonder if you were going to come back. Okay, and then Daffodil Delight. See, you can see how it's got all like the little bubbles there. It's too inky. So let me press that ink in. Clean off the back of my spoon. Okay. All right, and then line this up and stamp. Okay, close that up. All right, and then we need, for our next pumpkin, we're going to use Cajun Craze and Calypso Coral. All right, so our detail is going to be in Cajun Craze. I like Cajun Craze. Hi, Don. Okay. Calypso Coral. Okay, our solid. Okay, these are pretty easy to line up. Again, stamp the more detailed one first, because that's going to be your darker color. And then your outline will be either a lighter color or stamped off, and it's easier to line it all up. Okay, so then we have one more pumpkin. And so this pumpkin is going to be Pool Party and Lost Lagoon. Okay, so Lost Lagoon. Gotta love a teal pumpkin. It does. I like the detail from these stamps. Okay, and then we want Pool Party. Let's see, do I need to push the ink in on this? Doesn't look it. Okay. Line that up. Okay. So that's all our pumpkins. So let me close this a second. Where's my stamp set? Wait, oh, there it is. So let me take these pumpkins off. So that way I can use these blocks. And I should have closed this already. Because we know what happens when you leave an ink pad open. He's laughing at, why is he laughing at me? Why say that was funny? I said something funny? Okay. So there's our pumpkins. Now we're going to do our stems. So we have a large stem. We have a small stem. And then I also want the single leaf. So let me take that, our little stem. And then I'm also going to pull out the greeting that I'm going to use. So grateful to have a friend like you. And we'll put that on the block. And let's move some of this stuff. It's getting a little crowded up here. All right. So then I'm going to bring in my scrap paper here, just in case if my ink is like way too inky. So I'm going to bring in crumb cake for my stems, and then garden green for my leaves, and then for my greeting I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. The greeting I'm going to stamp on top of my larger pumpkin. So crumb cake. All right, let me see how this looks, if it's too inky. Nope. So we need one large one, and then we'll need 3 small. And I didn't stamp that fully, so we'll stamp it an extra time. Clean these. All right, and then we'll do our leaves next. So when you go to stamp the greeting on top of your pumpkin, you definitely want to make sure that this ink has had a chance to dry. So then that way the ink doesn't bleed into it. So that'll be the last thing I stamp. Okay, so garden green. What a beige paper, what a paper pumpkin, no, a beige pumpkin. Let me see, usually my garden green is really inky. So I'll press that ink in. Okay. And then for our leaves, we want 5 leaves. Okay. And then the last thing to stamp will be our greeting piece. move some of this stuff because all these ink pads are probably going to fall out of my thing here. Okay, and then we have so grateful to have a friend like you. Didn't know I made cards. I dabbled in it a little bit here and there. Wait a minute, you should have. Well, I know what you were talking about, Vaughn. We only have one beige color. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp this right here. Like so. And it looks really cool. I think that the pumpkin pie and pretty peacock go well together. It's blue and well, it's more like a blue-green, dark blue-green and orange. Okay, so that's the stamping. I just wanted to show you kind of the process of doing that two-step stamping on that. So, cause with the power of, you know, TV, I already have these die cut. All my little bits and pieces. That's the one thing, having a silicone mat on this tabletop, you can't exactly slide things very easily. All right, so now let's go ahead and assemble this. We're going to bring in our dimensionals, and then we're also going to use glue dots as well. So I'm going to start off with my larger pumpkin, and you can kind of see that I kind of messed up, so use the other side. There's two sides to every piece of cardstock, so it doesn't go to waste. You heard pumpkin pie and now you're hungry? You just ate. Vonnie's still hungry. Okay. So then we're going to take this pumpkin and we'll place this pumpkin right there. And then we have our Cajun Craze and Calypso Coral one. And so I'm going to add, let's see, where I want to put this, right there. Place this right here. And then we got our crushed curry and Daffodil Delight pumpkin. Okay, and then this one, we'll tuck this one right back here like so. And then our Lost Lagoon and Pool Party one. Let's see. That. We'll take this one and we will place this one right here. Okay, so then for the leaves, let's see, one of the leaves I'm going to put a dimensional on. And we'll pop this one right back here like so. And then another one will pop up. Place that one right back here. All right, and then let's see, glue dots for the rest of them. Okay, let's see. Let's add some on here like so. That way we can just pull them off. Okay, so then we're going to add a leaf here. And then another leaf over here. And then let's see. Ooh, this one's stuck right up here. Okay, and then this one will get tucked under like so. And then we got our stems. Okay, so we'll add our larger one right there. And then just about there. And one more for our, oops, for our teal pumpkin. Okay, so we got all that. Now let's add our embellishments. So the embellishments I'm going to use on this, we've had them for a little bit. I think since maybe the early mini catalog from last year, or maybe the year before, and it carried over. It's still available. I have never used these before. This is the first time using them. The iridescent foil gems. I'm going to take a few of these, and because they're kind of clear, you know, with the little gold flecks in them, it kind of takes on the color of the paper, the cardstock that's behind it. And then in these, there's two different sizes. So I'm going to use one of the large ones and then two of the small ones. Okay, so there is our final card. And we've got our inside. Didn't put anything on the inside. Again, I was up late trying to get these all done because I knew when Wednesday and Thursday kind of hit that I was going to be very focused and working hard on this leave of absence thing that was going to take up a lot of time, even after coming home, taking up time, my personal time. But yeah, so I like the projects I came up with. So let me now bring in the other two cards that we did. So this was our first one. Used the dies to just basically cut out that designer series paper, and then use the more detailed to cut out the foil. So a very simple layout card. Neutral, using the neutral colors. So I like how this one came out. Our second card, we used a lot of other new product. We used some of that earthen toned specialty paper, so more like it's been described like early espresso foil paper to do autumn wishes. So those were from the new Words for the Season set of dies. And then we stamped our pumpkin and then die cut some of the detailed uh, vines and the stems out of old olive. And then our final card, we did a lot of the stamping of different colors of the pumpkins, added our greeting on there, and then just kind of placed it all together. Again, the sample card they did, they took this detailed vine and they die cut a lot of these, glued it on this piece, and then just trimmed it down. So that was basically the background of that one. Okay, so I'm going to place those there for a moment, and then I'm going to kind of get some of this stuff like out of the way. So if you haven't already done so, there is a link that is pinned up at the top of the chat box. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a Google spreadsheet. Add your name if you would like to be part of, this is really wonky. Oh, wonky. We don't want all wonky. I'm going to do a drawing for these cards. And if you have any problems at all adding your name to that spreadsheet, just say something in the chat box, and then somebody will be more than happy to add your name on there. And okay, hi Paige, welcome. Where did I get those clear sleeves? So those sleeves, what I can do is I'll go back and I'll add the link to those in the description. I did get them off of Amazon. I got a package of 100 of them, but you can get smaller. Those are passport covers, so they're very sturdy. I can get, depending on the embellishments, I mean, this has 2 packages in, but I have gotten like 3 packages of the embellishments in one of these sleeves. So I kind of like that. It makes it a little bit easier to get the what do you call it? The embellishments in and out, keeping them protected, and you're not dealing with that cellophane that they come in. So yeah, that I'll add the link after we're done. I will add the link to that. The one thing that I will mention while I got this in my hand too, in the description, just above the list of supplies, there is a link that will take you to my Google spreadsheet. I have created PDFs of the projects that I make in these videos. There's like dimensions, and if I stamp anything, I let you know what ink I used. And then, of course, this link right here, when you click on it, it'll take you back to this particular video. So out there, there's lots of them out there. I don't even know what the count is, but every Friday since January 26th of 2024, there is a PDF out there. So if you like the projects and you'd like to recreate them, you got that as a resource, and also you got a link to the video to take you back here. Yeah, if you like what you saw here, and again, I have lots of other videos. I think I got, what am I up to? Like 200 and is it like 284 or something? I got a lot of videos out there. And yeah, go ahead and see if there's something you like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. It'll let you know when I go live, and also when I post any videos. So my pre-recorded stuff, I do Throwback Thursday. So if you have a lot of retired product, I definitely have a lot, and I pull that out, and I kind of give it some new life. Sometimes it's the first time I'm using it, sadly. So I do that every Thursday. So yeah, there's one that I have done for yesterday. Deborah leaving us? Okay. All right, Deborah, sleep well. We will see you next Friday. Okay, so, um, okay, thank you. Thank you, Paige. I'm glad that, I've given you a little bit of inspiration. Let's see. Just looking at the comments really quick. Okay, so let me get this. Let me get my pen, and I'll be bringing my laptop in because I don't have that fancy software. But so let me see who we have on our spreadsheet for our drawing, and let me see. Okay. So I have Froggy, Terry, Sharon, and Cynthia. Is there anybody else who would like to be added? Paige, would you like to be added to the drawing for tonight? And how about you, Yvonne? Okay. All right. Okay, Yvonne, no. Andrea! Hey, Andrea, I know I needed to send you a text message. If you don't have anything, I know we're going to see you next weekend. I think we're still seeing you next weekend. If you didn't see my newsletter on the 27th, I was going to plan on doing that in-person class with that, what is it, Peaceful Garden? The one with the doves? So I don't know if you would be available or not. Let's see. Well, since you're here, Andrea, would you like to be added to the drawing for one of tonight's cards? Okay. So Yvonne's not here this weekend. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Carol, would you like to be added? Or anybody else on here? Let's see. And we do that. All right. So I think we have everyone. Okay, so let me take these. Now when I spin and if I draw your name, just let me know card 1, 2, or 3. So like in the order that I had put them together. So let me I got to bring my laptop in because I don't have that fancy software where I can what do you call where I can flip screens and all that. Maybe one day. But again, I know they have it and it's for an Android, not for an Android, it's for an iPhone. And I do not do nothing Apple. I am definitely a Samsung girl. I love my Android. And so, let me see. I saw that was tagged. I did add Page. Okay. Yep. So let me go ahead, bring that up and unplug this. I got to move these out of the way because we know that glares into my screen. Okay, so we got Froggy, Terry, Sharon, Cynthia, and Paige. So let's give this a spin. Paige, you are our first winner, honey. So which card would you like? Would you like card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3? Number 1? Okay. Now Paige, up where that pinned comment that has the link that goes to the spreadsheet, I also have my email address in there. If you could do it tonight, it'd be great, because then I can get this in the mail this weekend. If you could send me your mailing address, so then that way I can get this card sent out to you, okay? All right, so let's go to our next winner. Froggy. Number 3. Okie dokie. Okay, so now card number 2. Carrie. Okie dokie. Okay, guys, so how'd we do on time? Well, it's an hour and 47 minutes. Well, at least it's not 2 hours, right? I would say that last Friday, that was kind of a record. So again, thank you everyone for joining me. If you liked the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so it lets you know when I have something, either I'm going live or when I got something that I have loaded. Yeah, my hair's falling out. Don't need to see that. I do have, there are a few links that are in the description. I do have a monthly newsletter that I do. In there, anything that I have going on, as far as in-person classes go, my video schedule is in there, so everything that I'll be using for my Thursdays and my Fridays are in there. What else is in there? Any Stampin' Up news, like any promotion specials that they may have going on. We get new kits every month, like 2 or 3 new kits. I've included like pictures and descriptions of what those kits are. And then like even Paper Pumpkin, you know, a little description about that one, if it's something that maybe you would want to subscribe to or skip or whatever. All that information is in there, and I typically only send it out once a month. If you would like to receive that newsletter, I do have a link for it in the description. You just, when you click on it, you just add your name and your email address, and then I will get that out to you. Other than that, that's all that I have. So everybody, wherever you may be, if it's really hot, stay cool. If it's cool, I'm jealous because I wish it was cooler here. Um, be safe too, everyone. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on, you know, these past couple of weeks, months, and all that. So please be safe. And everyone, I will see you here next Friday. And I will be using the Gathering Together suite. So a lot more fall coming your way. And I will see you then. So everyone have a blessed one. Good night and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.